Alrighty, hello everybody, welcome back to the Puck and Stuff podcast presented by, well, a man can dream.
A man can dream?
Yes.
Are you sure about that?
I don't know, well, here's the thing, so I'm going to try and do this rendition every time now because it keeps it fresh, you know?
Oh, it keeps it fresh.
Exactly.
Keeps it fresh and exciting and different.
Like Subway, you eat fresh. Exactly,
Subway.
right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I see what you mean.
Yoga mat bread.
Hey, you know what though? It is episode 10.
Hey,
we made it to 10 episodes.
I'll take it, man.
I'll take it. It seems like they're not annoyed by us yet.
No,
so.
you know what? I gotta say the fact that we're still getting people tuning in. I thank you. I really we really appreciate it because
we love to see it.
it's really it's I don't know if we're anything too special or whatever. It's just kind of a thing that we're doing for fun, right? But I'm very glad that you guys are still enjoying it. So thank you so much for that. If you guys have any sort of request for anything on this podcast, by all means, let us know in the comments there, and we can see if we can make it happen. Yeah, we got a few things to talk about. Nothing too crazy this week in the terms of hockey there. So, there's one game that was kind of for the Flames. One game that was third period was kind of for the Flames. But you win one, you lose one. You win some, you lose some.
I think this is actually our first episode that we talk about a Flames loss. That's for sure.
That's crazy. We've
been doing this on the 10-game win streak, and we've never talked about a loss yet.
We've been doing this
I might have to
over a month, and it took them over a month to lose. That's impressive, man. It's nice.
I could be wrong. I might have to fact check that just to be sure, but I'm pretty confident that this might be our first episode we talk about a Flames loss.
Well, if I'm correct, was the first one that we talked about the Dallas game?
I think it was before Dallas, but it was pretty close.
I think they played Columbus. I can't remember.
Again, I might have to fact check that on the channel. But anyways, I think we should go right into it there is one small trade that we have to talk about, and I'm just going to mention it quickly. The Boston Bruins require the rights to defenseman Michael Callahan from the Arizona Coyotes for exchange for a 7th round pick in 2024. It's not it's not a whole lot to talk about. Callahan's 22. He hasn't played an NHL game, so I think it was just requiring rookie.
Yeah, he's playing for Providence College there, so eventually he'll probably get up to the minors, and maybe he might be good for the AHL team, right? Sometimes if you're developed correctly in the minors and stuff, eventually you can make your way up there, become a 7th defenseman, something like that. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Be on the taxi squad if that ever comes back. You know, so
you never know what could happen there.
We'll see, but I think maybe this kind of shows that Boston is starting to look more around the younger prospects, realizing that their core is aging. And
long enough.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna need to now that Rask is retired there. And that it's Bergeron and like we've been saying, Bergeron, Pasternak, and Marchand have been putting up some good points and stuff, and they haven't. It's not a crazy decline, but it's definitely not as dominant as it was, say, 4 or 5 years ago.
Very true.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I think that's good for them that they're starting to really look at the future there, just try and get young prospects. I mean, heck, I like that idea. If you're going to try and stack your AHL team, because it's if you have an abundance of prospects to use and utilize and find ones that are really going to fit with your team come the time you start retooling.
Yep.
That's good. I mean, that's what the Penguins have done. And the likes of I think Rodriguez and Gensel were all in the system, if I'm correct, and then they're up with them now, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Penguins have always drafted well, right? And they've always had good prospects and good scouting. I mean, that's not through trades or anything, but it's like I said, start getting young guys. Yeah, that's what you gotta do, right?
Only Chicago followed that system. They're in a tricky one for sure.
I think getting Fleury really messed that up. But then again, you beat Edmonton in the bubble, and that makes you feel more powerful than you are.
Really, against Edmonton, though?
And
I know they have 2 of the best players in the world, but, dude, really?
Man, the bubble was weird. It feels like a fever dream. I try to remember specifically what happened in the bubble, and it's kind of hard because it was so different Well, I guess I remember
I
that.
don't want to think about the bubble.
Yeah, no one wants to
don't.
remember the
No
5-game. Or I guess we beat the Jets in the 5-game and then next round.
The only bubble playoff tournament thing I remember was when the Lakers won it in the bubble, but that was it.
Man,
in the NBA.
keep your wild card stuff to baseball, please.
Literally.
That's how I see it. But yeah, so that trade is gone for us to talk there.
Right in the Flames recap.
Flames recap for sure. So the first game, oof, oh boy.
So the Flames were on a 10-game win streak. We go into Vancouver. I think we just went in like cocky, or we just weren't right that game, because I think we kind of undermined Vancouver a lot. And Vancouver has tons of promise. Like watching that game, they looked scary.
Oh yeah, Bruce, there it is. Today they just beat the Rangers. They're on a bit of a hot streak right now, and you know what? Bruce Boudreau is getting their forwards going. He is utilizing them correctly.
Yeah.
And it's paying off. This game we see here, 3 of the Canucks, 3 of their dominant top 9, or I consider all these top 6 actually, forwards scoring 2 goals this game. Elias Pettersson is 1. JT Miller got 2 as well, and so did the captain Bo Horvat, or Score Horvat as everyone likes to call him now. So that's pretty promising for Vancouver. It seems like they might be making their way up to that second wild card. So,
like I said, I think last episode when we were just mentioning what playoffs would look like right now, I said that wild card spot in the West is wide open. Like it could switch around. Again, like I said, 4 teams could take that last spot. You never know who will be, but it's interesting. I love when it's like that.
Like we said before, it's definitely going down to the wire. It's going down to the last 3 games kind of thing of the season, because it's weird how it's like the West isn't as dominant as the East.
No.
But they're still competitive games. I don't know. It's always like this for some reason, eh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very true.
Teams are built or something. Like Pacific's always kind of weird.
It's not even... Like, if you look at it as point-wise, it is the weakest one, but same time, you look at it, it's like, no.
I don't think it proves that they're the weakest teams, though, right?
No.
Because how many times has it been there a team gets not that many points compared to the first place in the division or whatever, and they slaughter, teams in the first and second round, right? Like, it's just, it happens.
Yeah, it happens.
I just like how competitive the West has been, though, because those Central teams... besides I think Colorado already's kind of guaranteed the first spot in the Central. But when you got St. Louis going around and all that, oh my goodness, man! St. Louis with Berube's just been they're playing a good heavy grounded game, and it's being sustained consistently, which is really good for them.
Yeah. The Central should be very interesting, especially with the 3.
Even Nashville and Dallas could still slip in there, you know?
Actually, they take the 2 wildcard spots.
They do. So I meant in the sense of getting into the central card there, not just the wild card. I should also mention Minnesota as well, right? Like that team is playing, I'd say, similar to Calgary in the 2019. I find we have more scoring power this season. Minnesota, I think they do still need some more scoring ability. I think Kaprizov, if they could find another complementary forward for him on his line, dude, Kaprizov plays 2-way, man, and he's like a freaking superstar forward.
Yeah.
That dude is just so good. Like, he deserves to have some players on his line. Overall, they have young players like Matthew Boldy and stuff, so it's like, they have promising talent. It's just, I think they just need a... maybe at the trade deadline, I think a piece say if JT Miller was to get traded,
I think he will.
I don't think that'd be a terrible spot for Minnesota if they got the cap room, and I think they do because if I'm correct, Jared Spurgeon is still on LTIR, so you don't know, right?
Yeah, but again, we're going back to topic about the Flames Vancouver game. It was a rough game to watch as a fan for sure. I think we just went there not expecting I could probably whip their ass. So
this is how I see it. The first period was pretty even. It was a goaltender's game.
Yeah.
Demko with the Kirk McLean callback, which is pretty cool.
Their jerseys were sick.
I love those jerseys. Love the pads. Love it all, man. my mother's side, like, we're Canucks fans, so it's like, that's pretty cool. They were talking about that, and they will remember the Kirk McLean days in the '94 Cup run, where, if I'm correct, they also rioted that season too. So Vancouver fans just love burning down their cities, eh?
Yeah, gotta love it.
Man.
Well, they're not burning it tonight after that.
No. That's not till Demko gets. Oh wait, Rutherford's not there. They can't make dumb trades anymore.
Yeah,
that's
they
unfortunate.
Oh well.
Hey,
they're on the upside.
So
I guess it's kind of nice to see.
Yeah, no, it honestly is. Like, Vancouver, the fans do deserve a cup. I'm sorry. Like, come on. As much as they're rivals and stuff to us, it's like, man, Canucks fans have been through a lot of trouble with, just mediocrity sometimes, and just choke. I don't even know, man.
It goes back to their boys' club. Sometimes it was the coaching. Sometimes it was just the players. And it was all around, and it was really crappy to see a franchise like that.
But now you have pieces in place that can sustain you. So it's all about being smart and utilizing them, and adding on, getting just some good depth in your D line and stuff. Hughes is still young, right? So your defensive pairing and stuff.
If you're a Vancouver fan for sure right now, it looks good. You guys have the upside you need right now, 100%. Especially with the goaltending. You got the young D-core, and obviously you have a middle-aged forward core, but still young pieces enough to make it look.
I really like the rookie Juho Lammikko though. Lammikko, he scored tonight against the Rangers. He only has 8 goals if I'm correct. I'll quickly check that, and so I don't get fact-checked, but. I think he has that promise to honestly be like a middle guy.
Yeah.
In the thing, but yeah, 6 goals. Yeah, it was assisted by Luke Shen. Probably shouldn't have the sound on here. Listen to some advertisements. Hey, maybe we'll get paid if we put the advertisement on.
No.
But anyways, I'll just quickly.
I wish it was that easy.
Add on besides the Vancouver. I'll give Vancouver more praise as we keep talking about this. But I was saying was that. So you have the first period of the goalies game. It wasn't really that strong of a period for Calgary, I'd say, but there were good scoring chances where I thought, okay, you know what, this is gonna be a close game, just like the one in Calgary about a month ago. So you have the second period, and Vancouver puts the Jets on a little bit of momentum, especially when they get a few calls. Now, I'm not the type of guy to blame referees because I don't think the NHL is as fixed. No, I don't think it's fixed. I think the NFL might be a bit fixed, but I don't know about the NHL.
There's
right?
a lot of other leagues that looked more fixed than the
100%.
NHL.
I think like hockey's harder, right, because of the speed and everything.
Yeah, there's so many so many things and so many factors you got to look into it, and it's a little bit more complex and complicated, I think. And that's why it's so hard to think the NHL's fixed. So.
But in the reality, the rest of this game missed a lot of calls. And I'm not blaming the Flames losing, but it had a lot to do with momentum changing because there was 3 penalties they took before. Calgary, I think, had the first penalty after 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
So they take the penalties, and Vancouver capitalizes on them. Pedersen's shot, right? Just, man, that shot, it reminds me of Ovechkin.
Such a good goal, though.
It reminds me of Ovechkin's shot. It doesn't have that different type of look to it, but it's just accurate, deadly, just straightforward. It's like a sniper bullet, right?
It doesn't have that power, but the accuracy on it, it's like perfect between Ovi.
No, for sure. So you have that. And I feel like that really took the momentum down. Just a few goals that you should have had, and then the forward line just didn't have any momentum to keep going, and it just proved to be that at the end of that period there, it's like, what was it? I think it was 4-1, and then was there 5-1? I can't remember.
So after the first, it was 0-0. After the second, it was 5-0, and then the third, it was 2-1.
Yeah.
And final score being 7-1.
I forgot we scored way late in the game to break Demko's shutout there.
Yeah, it was Mangiapane with his 26th of the season.
Demko deserved that shutout, but it's kind of nice to always play spoiler.
Yeah.
As much as a game like this, what do you do? There was just a lot wrong with, and you know what? You're bound to lose a game.
Oh my god, dude! I'm looking at the stats right now. So, the Canucks outshot us 38-30. We only have 1 power play. They got 7.
Yeah.
And only scored on 3.
Yeah, but I remember seeing like there were so many missed calls. So like when Goudreau got high sticked, and then
we got 5 high sticks that game.
And then it was 30 seconds later, one of our players high sticks the guy accidentally and they get the penalty, which is fair, but it's like it was right there. The ref was looking at him as it was happening. It was just
it was such a hard game to watch, but honestly though, I kind of expected one of those to happen to us, especially against Vancouver. When I saw that we were versus Vancouver, I'm like, oh no.
It's just one of those things or one of those games where it's just nothing was just going your way. And because of that, you lose momentum, and then you just poop the bed. That's really what happened. So what I said with this game, after this, I'll let you put your 2 cents into this game.
Yeah, for sure.
But I said you got to win against Minnesota, and you can forget about this game. Because it's 1 loss in 10 games, and we've been strong at home, and we have been decently pretty good away as well. So, of course, it was bound to happen to lose. You didn't expect it to be this bad, right?
No.
But I don't think a lot of games are going to be like this. But I think it can also be a learning experience, especially come playoff time. You're going to have games like these where the goalie just absolutely just robs you. I guess I'll say rob. Yeah. I was just smuggle. I'm like, what?
Smuggles you.
Smuggle. But yeah, it absolutely robs you, right? And then it's like, when there's sometimes you can't get offensive momentum. And you're just going to have to rely on just heavy defense. And, even if they're scoring a few on you, you just got to keep the pressure and just, really take it 1 goal at a time. So I think I guess it really did kind of, there was a learning experience there. There was a bit of, because Adam Ruzicka and Dylan Dubé didn't play in the Minnesota game. So some people were getting a little bit punished for that. And so... yes, I guess some people got more of the load than others in the sense of punishment.
Yeah, that's very fair. Oh, God, this game is so weird for me to talk about because, you're basically on a 10-game winning streak and then you see Vancouver. And even when we were talking about our predictions in the last episode, I was saying, if we just play how we've been, I'm not worried. Mm-hmm. But in the back of my head, I had that worry because for some reason when we verse either Vancouver or Edmonton, we don't play to how we play with other teams. And it's always been like that lately. So am I mad about this game? Yes. But I kind of expected it at the same time. It was just one of those games that I expected. But it happens. But at the same time, we jump to the next game. Am I good to do that? Can I jump to the next game?
Yeah.
Beautiful. We jumped to the next game that was yesterday against Minnesota, and we came out 7-3. So I look at it, and you're kind of right. It was a learning experience because we just... that really quick goal from Frederick Gaudreau in the first period kind of caught my eye out of nowhere because it was the first shot in the first minute of the period.
Caught my eye because
it was a good tip.
He's not related to Johnny. I knew that already because he was on the Nashville Predators team when they were in the Cup Finals in 2017.
Yeah, that was.
But it's always funny seeing the Gaudreau. You always make those jokes. You're like, oh, what? Yeah, he's not related to him, so I mean.
Yeah, so that's kind of funny how he's not related to him. He got a really good tip on Markstrom. Markstrom couldn't do anything really about that one. But, yeah, then we came back in the first. Tyler Toffoli puts up the first one. Matthew Tkachuk right after him. And then Gabranson with just a clapper at the blue line right through him. It was a great goal. And then in the second, Mangiapane and Blake Coleman put up for us. And then... Minnesota came back and kind of gave us the...
Third period was a bit kind of scary there for a little bit, where you're like,
oh, they gave me the jump. I thought I screwed ourselves because I was saying some stuff in the second intermission, and I knocked on wood still, but nope. Apparently, that gave me a quick scare, but then Tkachuk and Tyler Toffoli kind of ended it up for us with empty netter goals. There we go, got it. So I wasn't worried. It was a much better played game by the Flames. They kind of looked back into style of how they were playing in the 10-game win streak. And, hey, you can't complain about that. It is technically their 11th straight home win.
That's nice.
So technically they're on a home win streak.
Yeah, hey, take it.
I'll take it.
Winning at home is more fun, I'd say.
Yeah.
Much like playing spoiler all the time. I mean... it's good because for a minute there, it was like, I remember at the start of the season, it's like, we're not dangerous at home. How is this going to, correlate, later in the season?
Yeah.
So that's really nice that we have that win streak. So my opinion on this game was you had needed players scoring needed goals. So you have to fully scoring, you even still have secondary scoring. You're still getting goals from defensemen. Like the fact that Robertson scored 2 goals in the span of like 6 games or something like that. Like, dude, I'll take it.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Again, Robertson was one of those like players from the beginning of the season that I was worried about because I think we had him last year. Or was it the year before? I can't remember exactly, but he didn't play as well as he has this year. Again, at the beginning of the year, he was kind of quiet, but then once he actually started putting up points and playing really good on the penalty kill, that's when I noticed him.
I think he was with Ottawa last season, and then over this season, him and Zadorov.
Yeah, we picked him back up, I believe.
Yeah.
Right. But
I don't think we've ever had good Branson.
Yeah, we did. I'm pretty confident we did.
Vancouver did, and Pittsburgh.
I'm pretty confident we did before, but I might have to look into that as well. But anyways, yeah, great game all around. I got truly no complaints about this game, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I think it was pretty much a 60. Not completely 60. I think they kind of let go a bit with those with that part of the third period where they scored two. Yeah, when they scored 2 there. It was kind of dangerous a little bit looking. Markstrom had a decent game, right? He had the 880 save percentage, which is better than his 857 save percentage from the last game. But he still made some hefty saves. A lot of those goals that went in, Matt, I think there was 2 tips and just great redirection. As a goalie, how do you counter that? It's just a good redirection.
Yeah.
That's just skill. That's just skill. Being
Minnesota got really good with those tips.
Yeah,
sure.
no, Minnesota, man, I can see why they're up there in the standings this season. They're gritty, because that game was gritty. They're a gritty team.
That was a very gritty game, too.
They can out-defend you, and I really think they just need more scoring in their top 6. That's what I think is their problem. I haven't watched too much, so I can't completely set that in stone as if it's a prophecy where it's oh, they get it and then it puts them over the top. But I think they just need a bit more scoring, and I think that really puts them over the top. Kakinen, I don't think he played a terrible game either. I just think a lot of those goals were just well put, well placed on the stick and stuff. Some tap-ins and all that for the Flames, which is really nice, right? Because love seeing that chemistry. Those are always the pretty goals to see, right? It's like that tic-tac-toe or the pass to the other side, and it's an open net. It's
yeah,
it's so nice to see those.
Really gotten a lot better at that.
Yeah. So, yeah, this game was definitely played a lot more prominent, with a lot more confidence than the last game. You play them on Tuesday in Minnesota, so this game could be different. I think you can still win it, of course. I just hope that they can play more dominant away now, because I'm maybe a little bit worried that they got too used to home and then away. There's always things to nitpick at, of course. And of course, you're going to be more critical of a team that you expect to be in the playoffs and going to do something in the playoffs. So that's going to be something to definitely look at. We should probably mention this too, man. That Shillington thing, man. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, actually, I was going to mention that before you went kind of into saying about the next game that was happening against Minnesota. But yeah, so Oliver Shillington, if you guys don't know, he went into the boards pretty hard, and it looked pretty close to head first. But Sutter said he's fine. He said it was a shoulder and a little bit of his neck into the boards, and he says he's fine. So I'm not worried anymore about it. But it looked bad. That was terrifying how he got swung into the boards like that. So it's good that he's good. It's good that he's healthy and not hurt at all, and he can keep playing. He's a very underrated defenseman on this team.
We need him, man. If we lost him, I mean, maybe. Well, I think he'll be fine. But if we lose him a bit, they do find something, because they definitely put him in concussion protocol, of course, right?
Oh, I would.
I'd suck to lose Shillington, especially how he's starting to break out a bit this season, and he's playing a very impressive two-way game as a defenseman. Yeah, that was terrifying. I mean, nothing on Hartman. Hartman didn't mean to do anything. It just kind of awkward fall, right? The way he kind of trips on his stick. It was almost like he's almost stood on the puck. Did you see that?
Sit on puck?
Because his skate was right on the puck.
Yeah.
He didn't step on it, but he like kind of.
It was pretty close to it, but he didn't step on it, so it wouldn't technically throw him off.
He got tripped a bit, but just the way he fell, it just looked so bad from the. I mean, it was a bad fall.
Oh, it was a bad fall, but he sat on.
It looked from certain angles, it looked like Buddy was gonna just be knocked out. When I first saw it, I'm like, dude.
Oh, it would have hurt. It would have hurt.
I gotta say though, you gotta respect Markstrom for that. He saw that and he noticed. He knew the severity of it, and he came in because you remember how there was like that whole scrum right by him after that. He came right in there to like protect him from all the players and stuff. So that was like really.
You always need someone to do that.
Good guy, Mark.
Because you never know what could happen, especially when the scrum's that close to an injured player.
Yeah. That's one thing. Also, before we keep getting in, is with this team I really like. Is how then they don't take heck from anyone. It's just the grittiness is so nice to have. When
you got some good gritty players on this team. When a player
gets like when a player gets like hurt or nicked up a bit or whatever, the team dude, it's like Lucic or Gabranson. That's why I love Gabranson now. There's even Zadorov, like these big boys just come in and they just play. Mangiapane, man. He's got a bit of Theo Fleury in him, the way he likes to get in the scrum, right? Like that's awesome.
I love to see it because, like, if you look at
Anderson too, man, apparently he chirps a lot, so that's pretty funny.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me, but yeah, the grittiness on this team's great because if you look at our defense, you got Gabranson, Zadorov, two big guys. Then if you look at our forward, you said yourself, Mangiapane is a little bit of a scrapper one for sure. Blake Coleman could throw a head to anything.
He's such a playoff player. I love him so much.
Love that. And you still have Lucic and you still have Kachuk. Like you got a good playoff. Yeah. If you look at this team as a playoff team, it looks great.
You know what? That's funny. The narrative's changed. Remember how Chucky was always like the whatever?
Yep.
He's not the whatever in this team and no more.
No, he's probably one of the best. He's probably one of the best players.
I think Sutter's kind of stopped him from being the shit disturber less and more of an actual skillful forward.
Oh, he still does be a shit disturber though.
Well, he still does it, but I find like he's been settled down a bit more. He's taking less penalties. I find. I mean, he took a penalty this game.
Oh, remember?
That could just be some bias or whatever, but I think he's
it's okay.
Being less whatever, man. It's just every time he does a hit, everyone just goes after him in the comments. It's so funny. Oh. It's a lot like Marchand, right? Where it's like, you just hate him just because he touches your player. But if you had him on your team, you'd love him.
Again, I think Kachuk has the same problem as Marchand. He's a love-hate kind of guy that, like, some days you'll love him, but some days you'll just absolutely hate him.
Yeah.
But one thing I actually do want to mention about Kachuk, this was his the Minnesota game was his 400th game played in the NHL, and they did this stat of how his father, Keith Kachuk, and him, and the penalty minutes are insane. I think it was like Keith Kachuk played 400 games, and he had over 1,000 penalty minutes, and only Kachuk had like over 300 penalty minutes, and I was mind blown by that.
The game's changed so much.
Yeah, like, holy moly. 400 games, 1,000 penalty minutes.
Keith had more goals and stuff. I mean, I think
it wasn't that far off, I believe. But
no, it wasn't too far off. I think it was only 50 goals off and stuff. And Campbell was saying that like he was 26 when he hit 400 games. Keith Kachuk was, but Matthew. But you know what? They play similar, but they have different playing styles at the same time. Yeah, and it all works.
Different eras of hockey, and it's changed much time. Time has changed a lot through the game, so yeah. My prediction for the next game against Minnesota again. What is it on Monday? Tuesday. Sorry. Just come back how you played this game. Like I said, if you just keep up the tempo and the grittiness of the game and just be aggressive and keep playing how you are. I think you're fine.
I can see a few fights. I can see some bad blood.
Oh, I can see even more blood. I could totally see more bad blood from this game than there was the first one. But yeah, that's my last words on this game. Tristan, you got any more, or are you all good?
I hope it's a gritty game. Yeah, even more. I always love seeing those games. Hopefully no one gets hurt because
I never want someone to get hurt.
It's getting closer to playoff time. Injuries. Oh, please,
Yeah,
no injuries.
Wood on that one.
I'm just saying, right? You want healthy as you can be. But yeah, no, I think this can be. I don't know if it's in the bag, of course, but yeah, I think you just play how they whatever. Minnesota will come back with a vengeance, and they're at home too.
Yeah.
Minnesota fans they're just, to me, they're Canadians, man. The way they cheer for their hockey, they're Canadians.
Yeah,
so,
true.
Yeah, there is a home ice advantage for sure for Minnesota.
Oh.
Cam Talbot, I wonder if he'll be a net for that game.
Yeah, that's actually a very interesting thing I noticed about the Minnesota game. Cam Talbot didn't play. I really thought they would have played him for this one.
I don't know how many games they've been playing Kaapo Kähkönen, but I think it's been a 1A, 1B situation. I just haven't really Minnesota's a weird team. You never hear about them, do you? Even if they're doing like this, we're having a pretty good season. No one talks about them.
No.
And I feel like it sucks, right? Because it's you get kind of undershadowed. It's harder for us, right? Because we want to actually, learn about them.
You wanted to know about Kähkönen's games played and stuff?
Yeah,
you want to know his stats
and
quick?
Talbot, for sure.
So Talbot has played 31 games. He
Okay.
has 19 wins and 11 losses with a 2.94 goals against average, with a 910 save percentage. And Kakko has played 21 games, 12 wins and 5 losses, with 2.67 goals against average, with a 917 save percentage. So I think it is an option 1 to option 2 situation.
Oh yeah, it's not a bad goaltender situation. I mean, look,
both are playing
Cam
pretty
Talbot
good.
is still a starter in this league. I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
I really am, man. Cam Talbot played well for us, and I feel like we let him down a lot during especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, sometimes in those situations, what can you do?
Exactly, but I'm glad he found a home and stuff, and hopefully he can, kind of get Minnesota over that edge there. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, so some exciting hockey coming up. Oh yeah, they played the Avs Saturday too. They play Montreal on the 3rd.
Oh, I also did want to mention, so for anyone probably thinking about this, the Flames go back to 100% capacity now. That was the last.
Yes,
that was the last
do.
50%
Against the
capacity
Habs.
game. Yes.
So, it's gonna be 50% Flames fans because Habs fans are gonna. Dude, I gotta say, man, these Habs and Leafs fans are loyal as heck. I checked the ticket prices for of course the 2 games. And they're double what they usually are because of the resale value and stuff.
Yeah, it's insane.
They are absolutely what's the word? They're just they're so passionate. I respect it. I really do. It's just I wouldn't want to spend $400 on a front row seat ticket for a game. Dude,
we too broke.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, literally.
Don't have enough Bitcoin.
Not enough Bitcoin. We need to really get into Bitcoin. Start investing all our actual money into Bitcoin so we can come out of that.
And the digital securities, exactly.
Oh, love to see it. Tristan, do you want to actually talk about the Detroit Leafs game of that crazy shooting show?
I feel like we have to talk about it because of how crazy that is. There was a really low scoring football game.
It wasn't.
I stole that joke from someone. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that was cringe.
I don't even know what to say to that because you mentioned during the game.
Mitch Marner's back.
Yeah,
that's what you can say about it.
No, because you
Where was Jack Campbell, Peter Mrazek, Thomas Greiss, and Alex Nedeljkovic?
Oh my god.
Were they in the game? I think they were getting popcorn, man, in the stands.
Mitch Marner was in the game. I don't.
No, I'm talking about the goals as a joke.
Sorry, I kind of caught it. I fell behind on that.
I didn't write that down, but I was gonna write down their save percentages and stuff. It was pretty funny.
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah,
because I have it in front of me.
Marner had 4 goals, man. So hey, they're getting their scoring back. They're getting 10 goals.
He had 6 points that game. That's actually
holy,
yeah.
Buddy. Whoever got fantasy,
with Mitch Marner,
fantasy, Buddy had a night.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Actually, before we go into those goalie stats quickly, I turn on the TV when Buddy comes over to watch the Flames game, and I see it's 10-7, and dude, that is just so shocking to see because you mentioned it was the Packers game, how low that was.
That's what it felt like.
That's what it felt
like.
What
am I saying? The Packers game was boring. It's intriguing seeing a 17-goal hockey game. The last game that was 17 goals in a game was in 2011. I can't remember. It was the Sabres versus a team, and I can't remember who it was. I think it was Sabres Islanders. Might have to correct me.
Oh no, it was Nashville versus the Leafs.
That was it.
I'm pretty sure. What was it? 9-2.
No. Last game was 17 goals.
Oh,
it was Sabres.
Okay, maybe I'm saying the wrong one. But anyways, Do you want me to quickly go through this?
You're just thinking of all the time Steve Dangle has absolutely just
Lost
cried himself to sleep.
Well, there was that.
Poor dude's gonna have like a heart attack.
One I was thinking of. I believe it was 9-2 against the Sabres, and he lost his mind. And then there was the one when they had to get the Zamboni driver as a goalie for Carolina, and he lost his mind on that, and it was hilarious.
Who works for them?
Yeah,
A 42-year-old Zamboni driver who works for them.
Oh, that was so funny. That was so.
Did I also mention a 3-1 or? Yeah, did I also mention 3-1 upset?
2013 against Boston. Oh, you could roast the Leafs fans for so much that has happened to them. Like even they haven't won a cup since 1967.
Flames haven't won one since '89. We can't say much about that.
Hey, actually, ours is close.
0 cups though for the Canucks. Shout out to that guy with that jersey.
Canucks Cup 0. Oh, I saw that. I laughed to that.
Yeah, man, that's so
They
funny.
still whipped our asses, though. I'll give them that.
Oh.
Anyways, going back on the topic a little bit. Jack Campbell, both... Okay, so the thing is, both starter goalies and backup goalies started for both teams. So Jack Campbell started. He had 20 saves with 800
I think
saves.
Campbell's starter now, considering... I don't know, man. Mrazek with his injuries and stuff.
Yeah.
It's 1A, 1B situation, but I think it was...
I think Campbell's more of a starter than Mrazek. I think Mrazek's... Yeah, so Jack Campbell had 20 saves out of 25 shots with the 800 save percentage. And then they put Mrazek in with 6 shots and saved... Or, sorry, he saved 6 shots and got 8 shots on him with a 750 save percentage. It was not pretty.
That's a lot of... Yeah, it's just
like
funny.
it wasn't
That's
pretty
just...
for either team in this game, but the Leafs still
I'm telling
came
you,
on
no
top.
one talks about this if it's not the Leafs in the game. Like, it's... I don't know, it's...
Austin
it's
Matthews
always
did not put up a single goal.
Oh,
Wait,
you
did
know
he
who...
not put up a point this game?
Matthews did. You know who didn't put up a point that game? Actually, can you guess?
He scored one goal.
Can you guess? Can you guess which one of the players they pay millions upon millions? I think
John
11.
Tavares.
It was, yeah.
Yep.
No points.
Really?
No points. Yeah. I don't. Just it just had to be the Leafs. It literally had to be the Leafs, man. It's like we're not talking about this if the Leafs aren't the team in this game. You know what I mean? That's what I feel like. Oh, we probably mentioned it a bit, you know?
Yeah, I think I also wanted to mention it because
honest.
it was such a high-scoring game.
Well, it's weird. Like, even on the Sportsnet scoreboard, the 10, like, having it double digits looks so weird. It doesn't look right.
It looks more like a lacrosse game.
It did.
That's not
It
a football
literally
game,
looked
a
like
lacrosse game. Ugh, there we go. That's what I wanted to say.
That's like Del Bianco getting lit up and the Roughnecks losing like 10-7, you know what I mean? Like, that's what it's like.
I feel like Toronto is such in a weird situation because like they're still obviously playoff contenders, but if you look at the rest of the East with Florida and all those teams in there, it's like, dude, that's going to be a dogfight. And lately, your record in playoffs hasn't been great because you've got kicked out by like Columbus and Montreal in the last 2 years, right?
What's crazy, man, is
and they gotta either verse one of the Florida teams this year. There's a good chance of versing one of them.
Detroit is not gonna. Let's be real. I don't think Detroit makes playoffs. They're 4th in the wild card spot, but they are 1 game behind Washington, who takes the number 2 wild card spot.
Oh, really? Wow.
No, but points wise, they are 13 behind. So
yeah, it's literally just a switch. I think with the
dude. You
again,
never
I said
know,
the East was like completely.
You never know, dude. Toronto could be the year where they win they win a round, and if they win a round, imagine the momentum you get from finally slaying that dragon. Right? It'd be against Tampa. That's what it seems like it's going to be. I mean, Florida, Tampa are back and forth with 1st and 2nd.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's basically
Toronto could go on a win streak and be 4th in the Atlantic. Dude, I think we know that these teams are set in stone which teams were making the playoffs, just not what's seeding.
I think the seeding and the order of them will totally change, but I think those teams that are in there right now won't change for playoffs.
I think New York has kind of gone down a bit. Let me just, because they're 3rd right now in the Metropolitan. They have lost, They lost to Vancouver and they lost. Okay, they've lost 2 straight. Okay, nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
I just remember seeing them in the standings, them being second ahead of Pittsburgh, but that is no longer the case. So yeah, playoffs are looking. Yeah, East is pretty, like we said, settled. Just besides seeding. Wild card. Actually, let's talk about. Do you want to talk about the Pacific wild card there?
Actually, before we do,
or am I missing something that we were gonna plan to talk about? I don't think so.
No, I think this is just every man for. I think this is just all out now. I do want to mention one thing though. Yeah. Carolina is on a tear. They have 78 points right now, and they lead the East.
37-11-4 plus 60 goal differential, and does that make them first in the league? No, they're second in the league for goal differential.
And they're behind Colorado for first in the league.
Yeah, Colorado first, Carolina second, Florida third, Tampa Bay fourth, Pittsburgh fifth. The Maple Leafs are sixth, Rangers are seventh, the Blues are eighth, and the Flames are ninth. Then the Bruins are 10th.
How the hell are the Blues really doing that?
32-14-6, man. Billy Hoos was really showing up to play, man. It's impressive. He's kind of pulling a Binnington on Binnington. It's kind of funny. St. Louis has a game on us, so if we win, we'd be tied with them. I think, if we win, we'd be tied with them in everything. Same wins, same losses, same OT losses, just difference in goal differential right now. So that's pretty cool. It doesn't really matter because they're an essential team. It'll matter if for some reason we all become wild card fighters instead of
somehow.
But so it doesn't seem too crazy. I was gonna also add that stat that we were looking at this morning, the one that I sent you. So this stat's kind of, if I'm reading it correctly, there's a stat I saw about lines. So there was a stat here for best lines. So this is how it's described. Here are the top 3 lines solely based off of goals for this year. Now I thought initially it was goals to together, all these goals together. But what it looks like, it's when the goals are connected by these 3 players.
Yeah, basically when the goals happen, it's same line. It's not it's not separate. Ow. No, it's not separate. Oh, sorry about that. It's not it's not separate goal scoring. It's all on the same line.
So how it is number 3, the line of Kirill Kaprizov, Ryan Hartman, and Matt Zuccarello combines for 29 goals, 329 minutes on ice. I think that's what it means. Okay, I should. It's a weird set. What intrigued me is so now you have the second line with Michael Bunting, who's could be Calder winner. There's so many. Tanner Jeannot, Maurice Seider.
Calder looks interesting this year. That's for sure.
Bunting,
Austin Matthews, and Mitch Marner.
Mitch Marner for 32 goals, and then number 1. Was of course the Johnny Gaudreau, Elias Lindholm, and Matthew Tkachuk line for 46 goals, which is best in the league. So that must be because we counted it, and it's combined for 65 goals, was it?
Yeah.
Gaudreau, Lindholm, and Tkachuk are combined this year?
Combined, but again, I think at the beginning of the year they weren't a line, and that's when they put up the scoring points, and then they put them together. Yeah. So it was insane because with the Matthews Mitch Marner line, they put up 275 minutes of ice time. If you look at the Gaudreau, Tkachuk, Lindholm line, they put up 622 minutes of ice time for 46 goals.
It's crazy.
That is in. Whoa. One of the best lines in hockey right now, for sure.
What was the line in the 2019 season? Was it Gaudreau, Monahan, Lindholm? I'm trying to remember. Those are 2 centers, though. Lindholm...
I think he was up there. I think Lindholm... That was... Oh, jeez. That was a while ago.
It was a while back.
Yeah, but...
Because it's nice. It's
I can't even think of that.
When Gaudreau has these career seasons... his line is always up with that standard. Yeah. So it's really nice having our top 6. Oh my goodness. Yeah. First line is absolutely dominating, and people are finally giving Elias Lindholm credit. Is Elias Lindholm one of the most one of the most underrated players in the league? The fact that his cap space...
He's up there for sure, especially how he's been producing as... Flames first line winger, but Yeah, I would say maybe underrated, maybe proper. I wouldn't say anything else more than that.
I mean, just thinking of like how cap friendly his deal is right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing.
That is very true.
So, thank goodness, I'm kind of glad he's underrated. It means that less people are going to talk about him.
Yeah.
So when trade speculations come eventually, they're like, oh, we can get a last one home. It's like, no, we'll keep him.
Yeah, it's actually very shocking as well because, like, a lot of people used to say Gaudreau was very overrated for a time being, and then...
Well, here's the thing. What have us Flames fans been saying? Great in the regular season, come playoff time.
Gone.
There's whole different narratives for each player, of course, based on skill, ability, and resume.
We pay Blake Coleman more than we do Elias Lindholm.
That's because he has Stanley Cups.
True.
That's why you pay him 5.6, right?
For Lindholm?
No, for Lindholm's 4.8, right?
Yep.
And
4.85,
okay.
And Blake Coleman's 4.9.
Oh, I thought he was 5.6 or something.
For like 6 years.
Was Backlund 5.8?
Yes, you're right.
Okay.
We pay Lucic. Wait, is that no way? No, I'm wrong. We pay Backlund more than we pay Lucic. Okay,
wait,
good.
What is Lucic? 5.3, right?
5.2. Backlund's 5.3.
Okay. So I wish I was getting these right, but I mean,
I'm
close
right
enough.
Here. Hey, I'm right here telling you, it's all good.
Exactly. But yeah.
Also, one thing I did want to quickly mention, like back to going to, they did cut after Vancouver game. They did cut Dubé and
Ruzicka. Yeah,
Ruzicka. That was shocking because after the Vancouver game, I didn't see them as like the true problem after that. And I looked at their stats even after. They didn't obviously produce a whole lot, but at the same time it was like, really, you got to cut them for that?
You said they were zeros on the scoreboard that night.
Yeah, they were zeros, but they weren't a positive, but they weren't a complete negative as well out there. But
I think
after the Minnesota game where they changed it up and they put Brad Richardson and Trevor Lewis and Brett Ritchie, I think, wow, that fourth line was really gritty and actually got a lot more scoring chances than I thought.
Some people I had a few, I remember seeing some people saying that like the fourth line was really bad the entire game. I thought they had some really strong points in some parts of the game.
Yeah, like
I saw
they weren't great.
I saw pucks to the net. Isn't that? I mean, I know fourth lines are usually dump it in to get it for the first liners can get some good zoning.
They did have a lot of opportunities on that.
I thought they did. I didn't see anything too crazy. I don't think you keep that as the fourth line, just because young. So you're always gonna have like him going up and down. Dubé is young as well. Though we keep forgetting that Dubé is also young, and I think this is Sutter's message. 'Cause I remember, it was one of the games during the 10-game win streak. And it was really dominant. And one of the interviewers was asking Sutter about how he thought about Dubé's play, and he was saying something, being critiquing it, saying that he's like every other player where he's got to play for a roster spot. So I always think that's one thing about with Sutter, right? Like no player will ever be safe, and it's a message. I don't think he'll be out for that long, but.
Yeah,
maybe he just needs a bit, right? Dubé, I wish he was scoring a bit more, but it's just like it's being overshadowed by how good the team's playing right now. So it's not like the biggest worry in the world.
Very true.
However, I did honestly think Dubé would kind of break out of a shell a little bit this year, along with Anderson Moore as well as Hannafin. Like they were already broken out. Well, it's just I thought they were gonna like blow it out. Like oh my goodness, like what.
So, actually, I'm kind of looking at this situation kind of with Dubé, how I did Tkachuk last year, because Tkachuk was 23 last year, and he kind of had that slump year. And you see this year, Tkachuk's 24, and he's blowing it out of the water.
How old is Dubé, sorry?
23.
Okay, so
I think this is his slump year, to be honest. I think it's just that quick slump, and then... maybe next year he comes out and blows it out of the water like we hope he does because Pawnee's 25 and he blew it out of the water. Damn it, we're going to have to pay him quite a bit.
Money, man. That's why you got to do something with this season.
Yeah, hopefully they do, which means they'll probably be even asking more. But however, I guess we'll just have to see what happens. For sure. Tristan, you did want to touch on the Pacific wild card for a quick second there, right?
Yeah. Well, okay, I was looking. Let's see what we got here. Minnesota is third in the Central. Before we talk about the wild card there, but they are 65 points.
Yep.
Nashville's behind with one less point, 64 points. But Minnesota has 3 games in hand. So Nashville, if cards are played right with these teams, Nashville could take Minnesota's spot, and Minnesota goes down to the wild card, or the opposite happens. Dallas is 61 points with 52. Edmonton's right there with Dallas, one game ahead.
Vegas could drop down to a wild card
Vegas
spot.
as well. So what you have Minnesota, Vegas.
So you got
even LA,
Minnesota, Vegas, LA,
Nashville, Dallas, Edmonton, Anaheim, Vancouver. Are there really...
And maybe you could say Winnipeg in that situation.
So
maybe.
At max, 9 teams are fighting for... Wow.
No way. Teams. So you're basically telling me the East is set, basically, but it's just probably going to be switching up wild cards or like spots. You're telling me 9 teams basically still have chance.
Because Columbus is 10 points. Columbus is third in the wild card spot, so they're next up to Washington, who's second in the wild card. So they have that playoff presence right there, but they're 10 points behind. Like, I can't really, to be honest, the way Columbus has been so inconsistent this season, and Detroit's just too young, I find. I don't see
Detroit's showing a lot more potential than they ever have.
Trust the eyes are playing. It's going to be 1 year where you're going to be like, yo, why are they winning 5 straight simultaneously? That's what's going to happen, man.
Yeah, that's very true.
Because it's like, Lucas Raymond is like, he'll never be like a Nick Lidstrom, but he's like the next Nick Lidstrom kind of player. You know what I mean? It's like how everyone says how Kel McCarr's the next Paul Coffey.
Yeah.
He's not going to be like Paul Coffey. But his situation and play
potential has...
He has that. Yeah, he's in the talks of that. You know what I mean? Like, that's how good Lucas... Dude, people praise... Their young guys are phenomenal. Larkin is still there, and I think he will be forever. Tyler Bertuzzi is still... He's racking up some points. So you got some forward scoring there. Moritz Seider. Right? Philip Zadina. So you got a Swedish guy, and then a Czech guy, and then... Lucas Raymond.
Defenseman. Lucas Raymond's actually...
So you got that.
For rookies this year, he's actually leading.
Is it Jake Sanderson that they have for defense? Let me quickly pull up Detroit's roster here. Because there were some other young players I was also trying to give a little bit of a praise as well because they have been decently consistent. So, Dylan Larkin, Bertuzzi, Lucas Raymond, Moritz Seider, Philip Roenick. Philip Roenick is also... that's what I was thinking of. Pius Suter had some eyes catching there. He's a center for them. 23 points this season. Yeah, I remember everyone was... There's one game I watched with Detroit, and Pius Suter had a bit of an impact on that game. So that's good for some depth there. Gagne's putting up 19 points, but he's kind of scored at important times. Adam Ernie also has only 12 points, but I think he's been good for like bodily presence and stuff like that. And then they have grit. Giovanni Smith is coming out like he's a lot like a Nick Delorier. So you got there are pieces here.
Actually, if you talk about the Calder race right now, it looks like Detroit has 2 rookies right now, Lucas Raymond and Montez Suter right now.
Moritz Seider,
Moritz Seider, sorry, that are actually looking like decent contenders for that Calder.
Dude,
damn, it actually looks so really close.
I don't even, like I said, I'm not even gonna even try and pick Calder, man, because you have those 2. You have Tanner Jeannot. You have Michael Bunting. You have... Is Jason Robertson still a rookie, or did he play last season?
I think he played
because man, Jason Robertson's filling in really nice with Dallas. There's a lot of rookies, man.
There is. It's a lot of open... Like, again, I can't really talk about awards yet until at least summer.
Literally. I'm going to try and find some... Can you find rookie stats here?
Yeah. I already have them in front of me.
Okay, can you, name me off, let's just say top...
I'll let you do it.
Okay, let's see here.
You can go goals, points, assists. You can go all over.
Okay, so let's do with points here. Lucas Raymond with 42. Then it goes Michael Bunting. Then Trevor Zegras. Anton Lindell. We were talking about this yesterday with Florida. I was saying how Lindell is awesome, right? This is like that. Dawson Mercer, Tanner Jeannot, Jamie Drysdale, Alex Newhook, Rem Pitlick. So after Zegras has 39 goals, Moritz Seider has 39, Anton Lindell has 36. Points. What did I say? Goals. I meant points. Sorry, guys. Let's go for goals here. Michael Bunton's got 18. Janot's got 18. Lucas Raymond's got 15. Zeers has 13. Anton Lindell has 12. It's really good for a rookie season. Jonathan Dallin's there as well. Alex Newhook, Rem Pitlick, and Arthur Kaliev. Yeah, assists.
Rookies look really good this year.
Sider, Lucas Raymond, Trevor Zegras, Anton Lindell, Jamie Drysdale, Michael Bunting, Alexander Carrier, Dawson Mercer, Janot, Sean Dursey. LA's got a few as well. Yeah. That's true, yeah. Kaliev and Dursey. Dude, I don't know who you pick. I don't know who you pick. I'm not saying nothing, man.
That's why I said I'm not going to truly choose one until...
That's the future of the NHL right there. I think...
It looks bright. The
O2, man. The O2 kids are something.
Yep, that's for sure.
O1 kids as well, hey. So I guess we'll go back to Pacific. Yeah, man, 9 teams at max could still have a chance at making the playoffs.
That's insane.
That's 9 Western Conference teams.
That's crazy.
There's gonna be a lot, even come trade deadline. That'll be intriguing too. Like, what do you think? Do you think those teams in the race, do you think they'll be buyers? Because I have a feeling the people who are gonna be buyers this season are gonna be teams that they know that there are certain pieces missing, maybe like an extra added defenseman for depth or another 20-goal scorer forward who can you put on just to help solidify a third line. So maybe Nashville goes, Nashville, if you do get rid of Philip Forsberg, which it doesn't make sense right now, but if you do because of signing problems and all that stuff, you're probably going to want to try him for a defenseman, right? I mean...
So
maybe for depth. I mean, because it's hard to get a forward for a forward or a defenseman for a defenseman, right? You know what I mean? Of same caliber.
For the West, to be honest, this is what I kind of think for the buyers and sellers, to be honest. So Colorado, I don't think can truly do anything at the top right now because they don't truly have the cap space to go off and do a whole lot. And then if you look at St. Louis, I could see St. Louis being a buyer right now, but unless they truly trade someone for someone else.
Maybe a forward, a goal scorer, and another like I was saying about the solidifying a third line.
Yeah. Minnesota, like you were saying before, I could see them upgrading one of their wingers maybe, or even a center at most.
I do think, because let's look at this. Kaprizov, Hartman, Zuccarello. Zuccarello's growing with age. I'm not saying he's terrible, but I don't know if he is at that point of first line anymore.
No.
I'm probably going to get killed for saying something like that. I don't think Zuccarello's bad at all. I'm just saying.
I would say he dropped to second.
Ryan Hartman as well. 29 goals with that line. They're third. So at the same time, right? I'm just kind of putting words in my mouth when we're looking at this stat and they're top 3 in the league for lines in that sense.
Yeah. Calgary's not going to be a buyer because they already got Tyler Toffoli before.
People really think there might be another play? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think you need.
No, Calgary? No.
I don't think you need.
Unless, somehow, a few weeks before the trade deadline, you need something.
If your team is doing how they are right now, why would you even try and make a big trade for, let's say, another, top 4 defenseman?
That's what I said.
Does that not destroy chemistry?
Yeah, that's
a big risk to take.
That's what I was kind of thinking because Calgary's in such a good situation. Colorado's in a great situation. There's no need to truly switch it up.
Same with Florida.
Same with Florida and Tampa as well. There's no point. Los Angeles, I could see them doing something, but they're on kind of the rise up right now, so I don't see it. Vegas, I don't think they do shit. I don't think they can.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Mark Stone is out in LTIR, so you can bring in Mr. Jack Eichel. You don't got really cap space, no.
No.
You got your forwards though, but it's certainly whatever for Vegas, right? Where it's
looking interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So LA, if they make the playoffs, that's amazing. That's great. But I don't think that was ever an expectation this season. And you got a young Quentin Byfield, and you have your Sean Jersey, and Kaliev. So you
gotta look at it in a good way because you still have that young core.
Wayne, you still got a great goaltender in Cal Peterson, man.
And Quick's there too.
He took Quick's spot. Oh well, Quick
I think it's option 1, option 2 there as well.
Yeah, it is. Quick has had a bounce back season this year, but Cal Peterson, I found he's definitely a solidified starter in the league now.
Yeah. Then you also look at Nashville. Nashville had that weird talks lately of wanting to trade Forsberg, and that was very shocking to hear because they're kind of a dark horse looking team in the playoffs right now. And why would you want to trade one of your best wingers right now, especially with how you've been playing?
No, for sure.
He probably won't sign because I think his contract ends this year, right?
Yeah, I think that's the big problem. I think that's why they think
No.
that would actually make sense.
He would stay for the playoff run.
Can you check if he's a UFA or an RFA? Because if he's a UFA, then it makes sense about the talks. If you trade him, if they want to trade him now, if he's a UFA, if there's no expectation of signing him, then I guess you want to get something for him, so that would make sense.
He is a UFA.
Oh, that's why. That is exactly why they're worried about it, because he's a UFA. That is exactly why. I mean, Matt Duchene revenge tour. He's
still going.
He's put up 23 this season, 24 or something like that. So he's put up 20 plus now. So he could probably hit 30.
Again, there's with every team battling for a wild card spot right now. I could see Dallas requiring a piece or two. Edmonton, I could see requiring the defense or goaltending.
They need a goalie before a defenseman. They do need a defenseman, but they need a goalie.
Yeah. So
like
they
Koskinen,
might even go.
Koskinen played really good against Florida yesterday. I don't know. I didn't follow the Carolina game. I know they lost 2-1. But Carlson has had some good up and down games. So has Mike Smith. It's just so inconsistent. But they haven't had an actual goaltender. You know how it was like we kept saying that before Markstrom? This is the same thing, but they haven't had a goalie since Dwayne Robertson in the 2006 finals. And he got injured. That's why they pretty much lost that finals, because Dwayne Robertson got injured. So
you could make that conversation as well for 2015 with Talbot being their true successor,
2017
or 2017, sorry. But yeah, they're in a need of a goalie situation for sure before anything. Anaheim as well.
Do you think? Sorry, before you talk
about
Anaheim, do you think Marc-Andre Fleury would actually go to Edmonton? Do you think that would? Does that seem? It seems
that
weird.
Is tough because
But
I heard
it could work. It could happen.
I've heard there has been talks at 3 teams, and Edmonton is in that talk. But at the same time, it is really tough.
They've been in the talk for a minute, and I don't think it's just because they need a goalie, because everyone agrees with that. I think it's actual they're scouts and stuff are oh.
Then we go into Anaheim. Anaheim can't really do much because I think they're kind of expecting to be in this kind of scenario.
Prospects.
Keep the young prospects. If it keeps going the way it is and keeps going down, they might even be sellers at the trade deadline. And Vancouver is in that situation too, because Vancouver is on the rise up, and they've been on a 3-game win streak now since against Calgary. But, however, it could change, and it could either go either way with these teams in the wild card, because you don't know for sure if they're actually having the potential of going up and actually being a contender.
Of course, eventually cap could become a problem for them as well.
Exactly.
So there's a lot to do with that. So with Anaheim, you have a good season. So John Gibson wants to stay now. So, right?
You're
that's
on the right
hard.
way. Yep, yeah.
It's they might just have a quick reach. I mean, Anaheim's been weird, right? They haven't been terrible. Last year was bad, and the year before, but it's they've only been for 3 years.
Yeah,
4 years, right?
Because they weren't truly true playoff contenders back in maybe 2015, 16, maybe, because they got all the way to at least the conference finals.
Yeah.
But then got kicked out.
In 2017 too, right? That was only 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So in some ways, there's some things that 5 years in hockey terms is long, and some years that it's short. In the span of a team being rebuilt or retooled or whatever, 5 years really isn't that bad.
No.
They just draft good.
Yeah, very true. I don't have much more to say about this playoff or the wild card spots for the West. I don't have any much more to say. Again, it's a total flip in the air because of all 9 teams having a chance. So I think it is a bit early that we're going through this, but it is fun to just go through and see how teams are doing. It's always nice
to talk. Well, okay, you've done Vancouver, Edmonton, Anaheim.
I didn't say Winnipeg, San Jose, Chicago, Seattle, or Arizona, because I'm pretty sure there's no way. There's no way for those teams.
Okay, I want to add Dallas. Let's do Dallas and Winnipeg. Let me quickly talk about Dallas because that's always been a weird team with inconsistency as well, and they've been like this for a lot of seasons.
They are 20. They're 29-20.
Yeah,
And 3. So they're not doing bad.
They've had a good. They're having a good season, but let's look at their point leaders. Joe Pavelski, number 1 in points, 55 points, dude. He's way out of prime, dude. Like that's impressive. Jason Robertson, we were just saying, number 2. So I guess he's not a rookie.
Nope.
Rupe Hintz, that's good because he was getting a lot of talk because, he was doing really well in the finals in 2020, and then everyone was like, where was he for like last season? Tyler Seguin at 30 points. Seguin's had a season. Miro Heiskanen.
I think him and Tyler Seguin and Jamie Benn are on the decline a little bit, but it's not completely gone.
It could be a
but
change.
It's showing.
It could be a change of scenery.
Maybe.
That could be very possible.
Damn, it's weird to think they were cup contenders like 2 years
ago. For
ago.
goals, Rupe Hintz 23, Robertson 22, Pavelski 21, Seguin 17, Ben 19, and then it's like a decline. 13, sorry, not 19. Yeah, so they're lacking a bit of goal scoring. They do play a more boring game. I mean, it's like Jake Ottinger, right? Like he's come out of not nowhere, but he's going to be their starter for a while. Ottinger is a good come up. Holtby and Hudobin are their backups, and I want to see who are they thinking of getting rid of? I think it was Hudobin they were going to get rid of.
Yeah, I
and
think
then
it
keep
was.
Holtby or something like that.
Maybe.
It's weird. It's weird. We're at a time where Holtby's no longer like a 1A situation anymore. It's
damn, that's sad to think of.
2018 was 4 years, man. That's crazy.
Remember that save in 2018 that like saved the series?
God. That dude. Washington's always been a great team, but that dude had single-handedly saved games. So it's really weird seeing him kind of in that situation. Maybe he bounces back. But yeah, Dallas is a weird team, man. I honestly, and this is no whatever, I just don't see if Dallas does make the playoffs. I don't see them making a splash, to be honest. I just don't think they're really playoff ready.
Not right now.
I think they just need some goal scoring.
However, their core is kind of all over the place because it looks like they have a very young core in some spots on the forwards and defense, but then there's also they look very, very old.
They're very so this was in the last few games. They win against Buffalo today. Then they didn't play since last Thursday where they lost in the shootout against Nashville. Then they won against Winnipeg, lost against Arizona, won against Chicago 1-0, won against Colorado, lost against Colorado. The fortnight. The Sunday before that Tuesday, they won. So they're winning games. I mean, that was a weird, when we came back, that shouldn't have happened.
No.
When the Flames came back.
Hey, I'll take it.
But you'll take it. They lost a few games where they got blown out, but they won games where they shut out, but it was a low-scoring game. I think goal scoring seems to be the biggest problem. That and consistency in keeping leads. So...
Do you want to quickly switch over to Winnipeg
Let's
and then we'll be done?
Then, yeah. Let's see here. So, yeah, Winnipeg. Injuries seem to be the big problem here. I need to pull my stats up. There we go. They won against Arizona, but they lost against Colorado. Okay, makes sense. So they were on a 4-game losing streak. Colorado, they OTL'd Dallas 3-2 there, and we lost to Calgary, of course, and then they lost to Edmonton. Mm-hmm. They have had some wins and stuff, but I think the biggest thing... Okay, so let's look at their points here. Kyle Connors at 58, Scheifele at 42, Pierre-Luc Dubois at 40. At least Dubois has not been
lacking.
You know what I mean? That's at least a decent pickup. Wheeler's on the decline, unfortunately. Andrew Kopp, it's never bad. Nick Ehlers, that's the weird thing. I thought Nick Ehlers was gonna have a really good season, and it's just not seems to work out.
Nate Smith isn't doing bad either.
But he has been injured, so I can't be completely whatever with him because he's only played 34 games, but he has 25 points. So that's not that bad.
That isn't bad.
So, but they've also had injuries on the defense line, if I'm correct.
Yeah, Winnipeg's been really that odd team that it shows they're on a decline, but they shouldn't be because if you look at the team
it's
all
a weird
around,
season.
It's a weird season for Winnipeg. So maybe they take advantage of it and become sellers in the trade.
32 goals for Kyle Connor, man. I mean, Dubois got 21, so At least you have scoring in your top
You
three.
have, but yeah, you still have that young potential, but at the same time, it doesn't look like it's your guys' year. I would maybe. It looks like maybe being a seller at the trade deadline.
It's weird because this team, I really think. Okay, so who's injured?
Right now?
So Christian Reichel is injured. Nick Ehlers is injured. Cole Perfetti's injured. So you got one of your young guys, and of course you have one of your really prominent players.
Oh, Cole Perfetti is really young. He's 20. He was born 2002.
Yeah, was he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's.
Bolio. I think Bolio was injured, or was it Morris? No, was it Pionk? They had a few defensemen injured for a minute, and they're back now.
Ugh. I mean, no lie, Winnipeg's always had defensive problems ever since Bufflin retired.
Oh, they had Myers and stuff too, and
their defense was good during that 2018 playoff run, but it just went down since Bufflin.
Who else did they lose in defense? Jacob Trouba. That's what I'm thinking.
Trouba went to Rangers. That was a big one they lost.
That was.
Yeah, I got not much more to say about Winnipeg. They might become sellers in the by the trade deadline if they don't turn it around.
It's young. It's not terrible in their defense core though. I mean, Bolio,
it hasn't been the same since
Brendan Dillon, Vinny Hanola. I lost the roster. Josh Morrissey, Neil Pionk, Nate Schmidt, Logan Stanley. Logan Stanley's nice to have, right? Because he's a big guy, so he can really play that Branson style of game. So it's not terrible. I just Hellebuck hasn't had the craziest season either, so it's really. Yeah, I think the injuries just got them at the start, and they just haven't been the most consistent team. So yeah, maybe they do sell, right?
I think they become
probably
sellers. I think they do.
I don't really. It's just weird. I really did thought that Winnipeg was going to actually do a bit of a splash. It just doesn't seem like it's working out this season. So, you know what? Next season could be a whole different thing. The team's good right now. It could be next season, and then the Jets can be one of those teams that comes out and just they kill it. So
a lot of upside looking that way, though. A lot of upside.
You always got to have a glass half full type of mentality with things like this. I think now that I think of it, I really think the injuries are probably the biggest reason as to why this team's kind of
and Hellebuck kind of having a slump
sifted off a bit. Yeah, for sure, right? So that's my kind of take on the Jets. I know you said you're finished with the Jets and talking about them. So yeah, I mean, hey, so end of story. I think the Pacific Division is going to be interesting to talk about till the very end, until the playoffs hit. So
yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Anyways, boys, I think they'll end off episode 10 for today. We'll hopefully be bouncing back next weekend with a new episode. The Flames have quite a few games to play this week, so we'll hopefully be talking about those as well. Again, like Tristan said at the beginning of the episode, if you guys have anything you kind of want us to talk about, maybe get into NBA soon, who knows, or talk about anything outside of sports, just let us know. We would be very interested in what you guys have to say. And again, thank you guys all for the support on the channel. We love to see it, that you're still interested and not annoyed by us. And Tristan, I'll let you take it away from here.
Alrighty. Thank you guys for all the support. Thanks for listening to our voices, and hopefully we will be able to make more content and more interesting content in the future and stuff, and just, kind of keep this train rolling. So hey, thanks again guys for all the support, and hey, keep on rocking in the free world. Doot 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 doot. All right guys, have a good one.
See ya. Take care.